Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 31st of July. The first important news, that is ISRO PSLV put satellite into the orbit. The seventh satellite that has been there. Second, that is Semiconductor mission aims to meet the global demand, something very important for a country like India, which is flourishing in the part of semiconductor and further looking forward to augment the part of the semiconductors in India. Third, that is India Maritime Craft visit Australia's strategic Cocos Island. See the details. Fourth, that is railway to study route viability of the Vande Bharat train. And the last is an editorial data beyond the survey. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is ISRO PSLV put satellite into the orbit. Something important for General Studies paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology and development of new technology. After the Mangalyaan mission, ISRO has been doing commendable job when it comes to the space sector, and we have made a lot more progress. So specifically when it comes to civil services examination in both prelims and mains, you can expect question from the part of the ISRO's achievement, PSLV and other missions. So Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO has successfully launched the PSLV C56 carrying Singapore DSR and 6 other satellites, a total of 7 satellites that was launched by the ISRO. This is the image of C56 or DSR mission. The rocket lifted off from the Satish Dhawan Center at Sriharikota many a times, and many other in the government examination they can ask you about the venue and the place as well. Now PSLV 656 की अगर बात करें, it has taken 7 satellites in total, including the part of the primary DSR satellite and 6 co-passenger satellites that has been successfully placed in the orbit. I'll tell you the name of the total 6 passengers that were there in a while. Now the PSLV mission is a part of for the New Space India Limited. Co-passenger satellites की अगर बात करें, the 6 passenger satellite that I have talked about. So this are the 6 passenger satellite, that is Velox AM23 kg technology demonstrator microsatellite. The second is Arcade atmospheric coupling and dynamic explorer, better known as Arcade experimental satellite. Third is the part of the scope 3U nano satellite and the technology demonstrator payload annual by the NU Space, and 3U nanosmart enabling the seamless IoT part of the connectivity for the urban and rural locations. Now the Galaxia 2 3U nano satellite that will be orbit for the LEO, that is a low earth orbit में से place की जाएंगे. And the other is ORB Study Strider, the satellite that is developed under the international collaborations. Now DSR की अगर बात करें, DSR satellite is developed under the partnership between India and Singapore. Singapore की ST engineering ने इसे complete किया. This is a partnership between ISRO and ST. Once again, the part of the deployment, it will be used for the support and the satellite imaging requirement for the various agencies within the government of Singapore. ST engineering will use it for a multimodal, higher responsiveness, imaginary, geospatial services and the commercial customers. इसरो ने ये भी ऐड किया कि जो इंडिया की न्यू स्पेस इंडिया लिमिटेड है NSIL, basically they will be taking the entire part, it's apex body. They will have a procured PSLV C56 to deploy DSR satellite, right? So this is how the things have actually worked. Now features की अगर बात करें, DSR carries synthetic aperture radar payload deployed by Israel Aerospace Industries. This allows the DSR to provide for all weather day and night coverage, capable of imaging 1 meter resolutions at full the part of the polymerity. And according to ISRO, The primary payload for DSR satellite is weighted at 360 kg. Now moving ahead with other news, that is semiconductor missions aims to meet the global demand. Something important for General Studies paper 2, that is the effect of policies and politics of developed and developed countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. So if you look at the part, recently the External Affairs Minister was addressing the second day of ongoing Semicon India. This was an event which was launched by the Prime Minister of India in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar actually, right? So the minister has said, the External Affairs Minister has said that the nation's strategic vision on ongoing efforts to secure the part of the pivotal role in emerging and critical technology is very important. In the recent time, India has made collaboration with United States, right, where we have agreed on the part for the critical and emerging technologies. Now, emphasizing on the part for India's ambitions on the goal, ministers ने ये बातों को highlight किया that country's determinations to become the world third largest economy and to enhance the quality and quality of export, specifically for the semiconductors and other part as well. Semiconductor industries or India की growth की अगर बात करें, this is something very important. Specifically, you can get a direct question in the mains examination, right? So Minister of External Affairs ने acknowledge किया that the key role has to be played by the semiconductor industries, driving innovations, powering various technologies advancement, right? And he highlighted that India has intensified focus on the critical sectors. And he said that the country aim is solely confined on the meeting of the domestic requirement, but to establish itself as a trustee and influence semiconductor manufacturers for the goal market. Investment partnership की अगर बात करें, the recent partnership promises development that have boosted India's standing on the semiconductor space. Several renowned multinational companies, including Micron, Lam Research, Applied Material, have recently announced an investment. और अगर बात करें AMD की, AMD is a reputed company. It's a big giant company which is manufacturing, for the part of motherboard and other semiconductors. So they will be investing their part and making office, full-fledged office in Bangalore. So these investments are expected to fortify the part of India's semiconductor manufacturing और ये further grow करेगी India के semiconductor ecosystem को. Further, Japan has emerged as a partnership for the अगर बात करें semiconductor in various key and even for the part of endeavors, we have always been getting support from Japan. So Japan has been a supporting partner when it comes to semiconductors. Even if you talk about Delhi Metro, high-speed metro, these are all the partner sharing technology transfer that we had from Japan. Right? The two countries had included the part of Memorandum of Understanding, MOU signed की गई है for the robust semiconductor partnership, fostering collaborations, knowledge sharing between them. Now, securing supply chain, how things has worked and supply chain की अगर बात करें, recognizing the importance for securing essential resources, it is important कि India ने जो critical mineral partnership की Australia के साथ, that will be also in a longer run have a substantial progress to make. And the collaborations aims to ensure the part of crucial mineral requirement for the semiconductor manufacturing, thus safeguarding India's semiconductor missions against any constraint or resource constraint. So we'll be getting a support from resources and other part from Australia as well. Now moving ahead, India's military aircraft visit Australia's strategic Cocos Island, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So when it comes to part of strategic reach out and expanding the reachability, Indian military has improved the interoperability with Australia, and Indian Navy Dornier maritime patrol aircraft and the Indian Air Force C-130 transport aircraft has visited Australia's Kelling Island in the southern Island Ocean. Right, this is a location. You definitely need to check a map. This is important because many times there will be a direct question from map also. So the Cocos can be an important base for refueling the part for operational turnaround from the Indian military, especially अगर बात करें when it comes to part for expanding the large aircraft like P-80 long maritime patrol aircraft. India is definitely looking forward to have further enhancement with Australia and many like-minded countries when it comes to maritime cooperations. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ जो मिलिट्री एंगेजमेंट की गई है, इंडिया की जो नेवी डॉर्नियर मैरीटाइम एयरक्राफ्ट है, एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस C-130 Hercules is there, which is effectively working. And the latest series is India growing as military to military engagement, deepening interoperability, region and especially with Australia. Australia active support in establishing the temporary ground is at CKI, right? So what are the parts that will be taken? First is the Gaganyaan mission, potential opportunities for cooperations in Earth observation, satellite navigation, space situational awareness, and part of weather and climate studies using the data. Moving ahead, that is railway to study route viability for Vande Bharat train, something important for general studies paper 2. That's the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. Vande Bharat is definitely a way forward for Indian Railways. It has made a substantial progress. The only challenge with the Vande Bharat Express is the high price train, because see, the part of amenities that is provided and the part of services that is provided is charged at pretty higher rate. I mean substantially जो affordable rate नहीं है, तो इसको लेकर के भी studies करने की ज़रूरत है that how we can maintain the affordability in the Vande Bharat trains. According to Center, the senior railway officials will conduct the survey along potential route to analyze the part of existing train and bus and give their recommendations to introduce the premium Vande Bharat Express. जो रेलवे मिनिस्ट्रीज ने डायरेक्ट किया सारे जो चीफ पैसेंजर ट्रांसपोर्ट मैनेजर्स हैं इन द जोनल रीजन टू आइडेंटिफाई द पार्ट ऑफ द वेरिएबिलिटी एंड इवन जो origin destination spares होती हैं उनकी क्या डिमांड्स हैं, what are the requirement that is required, how the improvement can be done, that is something that mandatorily need to be looked upon by these officials. Venues such as tourist destinations, IT hubs, business center, state district headquarter should also be considered in this regard. A policy decision has been taken to fence the track where trains are operated at the speed of 130 km per hour. Introduction of Vande Bharat trains की अगर बात करें, for the introductions Vande Bharat, the part of the railway has instructed some of the important things. First is to identify the OD routes, particularly the car change segment. We have recently seen a Balasore incident. Definitely that should not be repeated in history in India. It's for a very pathetic accident that took place. So we need to work and feasibility हमें देखने की जरूरत है क्या इस तरह के कोई problems वापस होते हैं, how we can control it. Now introduction of Vande Bharat में बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जहाँ पे और improve होंगी. First, other will be the compiled informations regarding the number of train using currently corporate part, comparison of the freight, tray fare and the part of the road sector, availability and the maintenance facility. And I personally feel जो fare की बात है उसे diligently देखने की जरूरत है because it need to be more affordable for the citizen. While basic infrastructure such as maintenance facilities, catering, platform would also be available, and the railway would have safety when it comes to tree paths and other obstacles since Vande Bharat is operated at the speed of 130 km per sections. Now moving ahead with the editorial of the day, that is data beyond survey, something important for general studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So what are the issues under this editorial? That is the India statistical system. First is about the Indian statistical system, identifying the shortcoming and the way forward. So the statistical system of the country is acting as its mirror, and baat karegar how it is generating. If you see the part of statics that is there, that also observe to see how will we perform. हमारे जो key social economic parameters हैं, even the per capita income, inflations, poverty, life expectancy, everything, even for the part of average schooling, is taken into account when our statistical system is put in place. Now, fast tracking reform and investing in the national statistical system in the mission mode is a need of the hour, right? This can also be a possible question in the mains examination, right? You can be asked about this. So it cannot be delayed if we want to have to play an active role in the Indian statistical fraternity. अगर हमें international statistical fraternity में कुछ अच्छा करना है, then we need to work upon this. Now, how does the statistical system work? Most countries की अगर बात करें, it's a single agency and a handful of agencies produce a bulk of official statistics. The statistics system provides citizens with the impartial views and part of their country progress. It enables the policymakers and investors to make informed decisions. Identifying the shortcoming, how we will explain in points, कुछ मैं आपको तीन चार ऐसे points बताऊंगा where you will be able to make out what are the shortcoming. First, we need to recognize the problem of the Indian statistical system that need to be fixed. It will be identifying the part for statistical system with no solution at all. Right? उसके अलावा जो Indian national statistical offices हैं will have to collect the data through administrative and sample services. Both have their own strengths and challenges. Right? The data collection from the administrative resources is economical and less time consuming, but there are several challenges when it comes to the terms of representation. This is the first shortcoming. Now the second is about the national statistical system that need to expand the part of diversity, and the data should include the new emerging resources like big data, जो कि एक बहुत important component है, leveraging the part of processing, machine learning and artificial intelligence. So these are the new era 21st century part of the things that must be included. Effort of the NSO must be there for the standard methodologies for validating the part for the sets, and even extremely important so that the supplementary convention data sources should also be there. The UN Statistical Division has come up with a guideline by using the part of big data for the official purposes. Now, third is strengthening the national system is the part of integrally dependent on the strength and the part of the state statistical system. उसके अलावा जो Dhakolia committee that has also come up with the part that sub account should be there. It should pave way for the state government for pursuing and adopting the bottom up approach. This is something which is pretty relevant when it comes to the part of government policy making. Bottom up approach एक सबसे अच्छा approach मानी जाती है governance के लिए, thereby strengthening the data collections and the state government. The Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI, OSPI जिसे कहते हैं, this has come to a strategic project with the financial support of the banking, enhancing the capabilities and state statistical system for collecting the data. Now, fourth is that we need to learn where our national experiences are improving on the weather predictions. Earth Sciences के साथ collaborate करके national centers में जो weather forecasting है, this is working since 1988, and we need to have to upgrade with the supercomputer that involves the part for the weather forecasting. Right? This is something that is also deeply required. And in instances, the public and private sectors like GSTN, railway, banking, these sectors, online shopping, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट की जरूरत है ताकि वो सर्विस डिलीवरी भी इंप्रूव कर पाए. Now to way forward, to catalyze the part and to synergize the things in the statistics and in the part of data, the national policies on official data is required. और budget 2022 में भी इसके बारे में बात की गई, but still the finalization process is awaiting. We need to ensure that India's progress are there in substantial development goal. Bottom-up approach is also to ensure that no one is left behind, or fast-tracking the system of investment of the national statistical system in the mission mode is the need of the hour. Right? If you're writing, definitely include this point. This cannot be delayed if India want to once again play an active role in the international statistical fraternity. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of Saturday questions. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice is about the mental health assistance and networking states. It is an objective to provide free medicine services all over the country round the clock, particularly catering the remote areas. It is an initiative for the Union Ministry for Health and Family Welfare. Now the second question of the day is about the positive Indianization list. This list item has the part for the forces that will procure only domestic manufacturers. The manufacturers should be from the defense public undertaking and not from the private sector. So do check out for the correct option. We have a lot more other platforms where questions are published on daily basis. You can practice that. If you have any other queries about admission, courses, test series, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.